So now, what have we done? We've pulled together our database, right? We've got all that together. We got some really good, wasn't that good last week? Those realtors, really good insights about how to lead generate. I didn't get a chance because the class ran a little long to ask you what you kind of got out of that. For instance, see what from that lead generating one, what stuck with you the most?
Well, I mean, from their experiences, I mean, since I'm new, I think that it's important to look into every aspect of, you know, where I can find clients.
Mm-hmm. Did you land on one that resonated with you more than the others?
Well, I think the open houses part is a pretty good one, and that's where, you know, I want to start with that and do a few more things.
Okay, Stacy, how about you? Which things they talked about seem the most like you?
I would say either open houses or paying for the subscriptions through the realtor.com.
Okay. Marcia?
Well, I thought about that because, you know, I don't know a lot of people in Kansas City. So I'm going to start with, I've signed up for the open houses. I can't wait till somebody calls me, but while I'm waiting on that, I'm definitely also looking into generating leads through the Zillow and Trulia subscriptions.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know about her realtor.com thing, so that was exciting to learn about that.
Yeah, for sure. Alan, how about you?
For sell by owners,
yeah.
I've been a door knocker for 3 or 4 years, so it's going to be expired listings for sell by owners, probates, and just what they call turbo leads. I would just get as many listings as I can. That's going to be my strategy. So.
Good. And Pete, what would you say? How long have you been here, Pete? Has it been a year?
About a year, yeah.
What's been working for you? Not working?
I mean, the few I've had are just references, people I know. But I will say that what I picked up on the video, watching the video, was I've done the Zillow Trulia thing, and it's not really worked out for me.
Yeah.
So it surprised me what stood out was she said that the Realtor.com gives better leads. So I think I may start going that route instead of Zillow.
Yeah. That's a little.
Did you pay for the Zillow part? And so
I started off with 2 areas, and then I went down to 1 because I just wasn't getting anything, and then I got. One of the things they said is get some reviews, so I did that. And, you know, people that I've worked with, I've done some. Yeah. I had some potential buyers I was showing places to, just didn't work out. But I've reached back out and started doing that, but I still don't see any uptick on the.
See, the guy called me and he was trying to sell me on it. He said that he will call me when a customer is online. They will call me and let me talk to the customer. I mean, they will hand me the, but it was like $350.
Be careful of that.
Yeah, I think again the leads I've gotten on Zillow, and their big thing is respond quickly, which I did. And what I did is I may get them midday, and then they want you to not email, or you can try and call, but at least text, because everyone's looking at their text throughout the day. And so I would immediately reach back out, and then I just wouldn't hear anything. And then I'd follow up, and it's just like, so I don't know how qualified those leads are.
They're cold. My coaching company calls them inquiries rather than leads, because a lead is somebody that wants to buy a house and is looking to do it, and those aren't necessarily Zillow leads.
Yeah, I would agree with that, and that's why, I mean, I heard you mention that you were thinking about that.
But to sign up for 6 months, so I mean, and it was like $350 for 1 zip code.
I would tell you I would try some other things first.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually probably going to be, especially after the video, I was going to see if I could maybe reach out to her and find out how she's feeling about between the realtor. I can't remember the lady's name, but she did she said she's done both, but she feels Realtor.com is better leads. Yeah. So I was going to maybe speak with her about that, and but I think I'm at the end with Zillow. I've done my 6 months. It went to month to month. I dropped it down to 1 area, and I'm still not getting anything. And I've got reviews in there now and listings, but it's not working for me. So
good to know.
Oh, it's good.
Which is one of the reasons
before I sign up.
meeting with you later.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Why do you have goals? I love this little graphic I gave you on the very front that says, let's take a look at it. People with goals and dreams succeed because of one primary reason: they know where they're going. I'm a big believer in goal writing. Has anybody write goals? Has anybody done that previously? Somewhat, not a lot? Okay. I'm a big believer in goals. I do goals twice a year for my business, my personal life, and I do updated goals every month and every week, believe it or not. So it kind of tells me how I need to get there. So goals are important because they define to you where you want to go. Most people, there's a quote, most people shoot for nothing and obtain it with incredible accuracy. So if you don't really know where you're headed to, you won't really know if you got there or not. And there's something about written goals that you look at on a daily basis, they're powerful, and I don't even know why. But I know when I do it, I hit them. When I don't get to where I want to go. I can't even describe it. But goals alone aren't enough. Everybody remember the book that came out, The Secret?
Yeah.
Remember that? Big fans of The Secret in here? Hated that book. Hated that book.
Really?
Well, it was, the idea of it was you put good stuff in the universe, good stuff comes back. I got that. That part I liked. But the idea that you don't really have to do anything and it just comes back to you just because you say you want a bicycle, you end up with a bicycle. Yeah. I don't believe in that. I think success shows up a lot in overalls and disguises hard work. I think that's how you get there. There's also that quote from the person that prayed every night, please God let me win the lottery. Please God let me win the lottery, and never did. Please God let me win the lottery, and all of a sudden the voice came out from heaven and says, give me a break, buy a ticket. So goals aren't enough. Goals are a good thing. They're a good roadmap of where you're going, but to be able to get there, you need action plans, okay? So action plans are small, tangible steps that you need to get to reach your goal. Does anybody know how to eat an elephant?
One bite at a time.
One bite at a time. That's what action plans are. They take you daily, weekly, monthly, your little steps to get where you want to go. And then third, tracking. I think you need to track, if you have goals and you have goals to get stuff done, you need to be your own accountability person in tracking those now. Before, I know a lot of you had jobs before, you had a boss that tracked what you did or didn't do. Now it's up to you to do that. So it's important, if you are tracking your goals, at least you'll feel like you're making some movement too. We went through a really big housing crisis that you guys missed. And during that time, my goal, truthfully, was just to be standing as a realtor when it was over. I just didn't want to have to go get a real job. I wanted to be able to do this when it was over. So I couldn't control my income very much because there just wasn't a lot of money coming in. But I could control how many contacts I made to my database, how many calls I made to people, how many notes I sent, how many Popeyes, which Kevin showed you at the last meeting what the Popeyes were. So I could control that. So at the end of the day, still didn't have any money, still didn't have any contracts coming in, but I'd done my 3 calls, 2 notes, and 1 Popeye that day. So I had worked as a realtor that day. And that's what got me through. And then slowly but surely, those things cause business to come my way. And I get a little bit here, a little bit there, and then lo and behold, the housing crisis is over, and I've got a strong database that's coming on strong right now. So tracking helps you feel like you have done something too. And then lastly, time management. You got a lot of stuff that's we're throwing at you, do this, do this, do this. And you're responsible for figuring out, okay, how am I going to get all that done? You really can't manage time. Really, time is the same for everybody. The only thing you can manage is you. So it should be called you management. You manage how you spend your time within that day, but you can't really manage time. So time management, time blocking will show you to remember what to focus on, the things that are important to you. Not what I would put on my calendar, but what's important to you to reach your goals. So let's go ahead and get started. The first sheet in your book has a little blank sheet that says 1 year at the top. You see that? Okay, I want you to put put 1 year from today. So 1 year from today would be July 26, 2017. Okay, in a minute, I'm going to turn on some funky music that's going to make you turn off your one side of your brain, I can't remember if it's left or right, so that you can, you're free to think more clearly. It kind of turns off the logical part of your head. And I want you to just start right in a second. 1 year from today, what does your life look like? Okay, what's your business look like? How much income did you make this last year? How many sales did you do? What vacations did you take this last year? Did you learn any new skills? What's your personal and family life look like? Spiritually, is there anything you wanted to accomplish that you didn't? So I would encourage you to dream about looking back on this year, what this year looked like that you'd be proud of. but keep it realistic. You know, you're probably not going to make, you know, $1 million your first year in real estate. So keep it somewhat realistic and attainable, but stretch a little bit, what your ideal year would look like. Okay, I'm going to give you just a few minutes, and I just want you to write until I tell you to stop or until you get done. Ready? And go. Marcia, you're a goal writer. You done it before?
Oh, yes and no.
Good for you.
I love to have a goal, and I think I've been pretty successful in my life by setting goals and keeping them in front of me, but I think the last few years I've sort of relaxed from my professional goals and done more personal stuff, so this is good to get back on track.
Well, and sometimes it shifts, and sometimes it's heavy one direction and the other. I always do both. I always do professional and personal at the same time because I think they're intertwined a little bit. Okay, so was it easy? Was it hard? Kind of hard to get started, and then just a little bit. It's easier every time you do it. I need somebody to share with me one of their goals, not a personal one, just something that you can share. Pete, can you share?
I put double my contact list.
Double your contact list.
Yeah.
Okay, so good. That's a good one.
How many are in my thing
Yes.
now? I think it's about 65 or so.
Okay, so instead of double it, I want you to put down 130. Okay? Specific. Be specific
Oh, okay.
about where you want to go to.
I got
130
you.
people. Okay, so you doubled your contact. Okay, we're going to use Pete as an example then. Okay, flip over to the next page where it says 6 months. And somebody help me out. What's the date 6 months from now?
January.
January 26, 2017. Put that up at the top. Okay, we're going to do this again, but we're going to have just a tiny little different slant to it. I want you to look at, you're going to flip back and forth. I want you to look at the goals that you just wrote.
Oh.
And you're going to figure out where you need to be 6 months from now to be on track to hit those goals. So, using Pete as an example, if Pete's goal is to double it, he's going to need to add 65 more people in the next year. How many is he going to have to add by January?
32 and a half.
32 and a half, okay? So now I want you to list some specific SMART goals of where you need to be 6 months from now to get to where you need to go. And I want you to, these need to be SMART goals. They need to be specific. Do you see how I just made Pete put 135 rather than double, okay? They need to be measurable. By January 1st, Pete will be able to look at this and figure out if he's halfway there or not. They need to be obtainable. Is it obtainable, Pete, to pick up 33 and a half? Okay. They need to be relevant. That's relevant to building your business. And they need to be time-based, and our time we've already set for you for January. Okay? So, for instance, don't put, I want a better relationship with my husband. Put what that looks like. I want to go out on a date night once a week. Okay? Some things like that. Don't put, I want more money. How much money? We all want more money. How much money? You know, how much does it need to be? So, you with me? Where do you need to be 6 months from now to hit those ideal goals? Ready? And go. that easier or harder than the first group? I'm curious.
A little bit easier.
Easier.
Easier? How come? Misty?
Because it's stuff that we need to do now.
It's more short term rather than long. You're going to love the next one then. Okay, so you know where you need to be a year from now. You know where you need to be 6 months. So our next step is go to the 10-day one. What are steps that you can do in the next 10 days that will move you just a little closer to that goal? Okay? What's tangibly something that you can do in the next 10 days? Remember, it's specific, it's measurable, it's obtainable. We'll use Pete as an example again. Pete, let's use your database as an example again. What's something you can do in the next 10 days to help you reach that goal of 65 new people by the end of the year?
I think going back to, I think it was one of your first classes about where to find contacts, you know, things about, all right, I have a dog groomer, you know, am I really working that, you know, things like that, but so just
go back through your list, basically.
I think go back, yeah, and start thinking about, okay, you know, anytime I use a vendor for something, or anytime no matter what, you know.
And your database. Good for you.
Get them in there. And
okay, so something you could commit to doing, because this is where the commitment part comes in. Those were goals before. Now, okay, what am I going to commit that I'm going to do in the next 10 days to move me closer? So one of your commitments might be to dig out that list and start going through and seeing who you can add to that. That's a good one. You guys with me?
Mm-hmm.
So go back and look at your year. Go back and look at your 6 months, and I want you to list, for those goals that you listed, what's something you can do in the next 10 days that will move you closer to that goal. Ready? Go.
you can tell us this was a timed exercise.
Sorry. job. Congratulations, you have a set of written goals for your first year in real estate, a 6-month check-in point to adjust your course if you're not on track, and an action plan of how to get there. Okay? So here, what do we do with these goals now? You ready? 1, post your 6-month and your 1-year goals somewhere where you can see them daily. Okay? You don't have to read them daily. They just got to be somewhere that you actually see them daily when you walk in the door. Maybe a wall of a home office, maybe on top of your laptop, somewhere you see them daily. And then I would encourage you to put your 10-day goals that you just wrote on your desk. And as you do them with a little red pen, check them off as you get them done. Okay? So what happens if we get all these things done 10 days from now? What do we do?
Write another 10
Next
days.
10 days.
Another 10-day goals. And that's eating that elephant one piece at a time. Those 10 days will get you to 6 months. The 6 months will get you to a year. And you'll be able to get where you wanted to be. I would also encourage you to, there's a couple things that you need to do as far as tracking these, okay? Now that you've got them, you got to make sure you do them. If you stick them in a file somewhere and never look at them, they're going to be absolutely no good. Pete, what are your goals from a year ago?
On my desk, actually.
Are they?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit buried, I gotta be honest with you, under some
Pete.
folders, but
Pete.
they're on there.
Okay, pull them back out. Pull them back out. The reason that you have to track now what you're doing, for instance, did anybody make a commitment to so many touches to database or so many door knocks or anything like that?
I did.
Misty, can you share that with me?
Yeah, I am out in the world at least twice a week, and I need to do a better job of letting people know that I'm a realtor.
Okay. So specifically, how are you going to do that?
I'm going to get out of my comfort zone and talk to strangers.
Okay. Now, how many a day?
At least 2.
2 a day.
That's my
How many
goal.
days a week?
7 days. Well, 5 days. We'll give it 5 days a week.
So 10 people a day is your goal.
That's my goal.
Okay. So if you're going to, that's a great goal. That's a great goal. To track that, you want to track where you're at as of Thursday. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because if you're only at 2, you're going to have to go out and socialize. Start chasing Pokemons around. You know? That's a great way to meet people. So, and you can track any way you want that makes sense for you. Some people use their planners. If you use a written planner to check, some people have a notebook that they write it in. I do little hash marks on a little legal pad on my desk of where I'm at, and then when I hit it, I'm like, do a little celebration type thing. So somehow track that. Track it on your wall calendar somewhere. I would also encourage you to celebrate your victories, not perfection. So what happens if Misty only hits 8 people next week?
That's still not too shabby.
She's a crappy realtor. Crappy realtor. No.
Try to do better next time.
Right.
She's a third of the
Still
way.
feeding myself crab rangoon.
She's a third of the way to Pete's 6-month goal, I mean,
Right.
if you look at it in those terms, that's still really good.
Yes.
And it's much more than you would have done if you did not have the goal, okay? Accountability partners are huge for this. If you can find someone to hold you accountable, you're going to find with this career you've got a lot of freedom and no one to answer to. And that's part of what drew us to it, but it's part of what our downfall is too. Because nobody's going to care if you're sitting and watching Lifetime movies all day. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt. So I'm going to start out by providing you with your first accountability partner, which is me, for next week. So I want you all to share just one of your action steps that you want to do next week. So Z, go ahead. He's looking over the list carefully. Just pick one, Z.
Contact all my people that I've worked with and let them know what I'm doing.
Contact previous coworkers, and how many are there of those?
There'll be about, the company that I work for right now, probably about 45, 50.
Can you contact 45 people in a
I've
week?
already done half.
So how many do you have left?
But so I have, the office people left. I'm afraid to go to everybody because
I get
it's
that.
still in a sensitive, but
These are your goals, not me, so you tell me, how many
Yes.
people do you have left?
So I have some other places that I want to go to, also previous, jobs. So I would say I would contact 50 people.
50
if they're
people. Now, these are 10-day goals, but I'm going to hold you accountable for a week. Can you get 50 done?
In a week?
Can you get 50 done in a week?
No.
Where can you get that?
I tell you what my actual goal is, that to leave, this is what my goal. I want to leave Lexus, and I want to go and find a part-time job with another dealer
Okay.
that I can.
Would you rather that be your goal for this week?
Yes.
So your goal for this week is to find a part-time job.
Right.
Okay. That may sound like not a great goal for his real estate career, but it actually is, because it's going to help him free him up to work his real estate career while he still has money coming in. Okay, got it. Stacy.
Mine's create a realistic budget for work and personal.
That's a great idea.
Marketing and
Terrific idea.
extra little things we're learning about.
Pete.
Mine was to go back to that contact list and
Contact us. Okay, Marsha.
Mine is just to begin attending 3 to 5 networking events per week and tell people what I do. I hurt my knee last September and then had surgery in February, so I quit attending everything. So I've got to get back out there.
Sounds good. Misty.
My goal for 10 days is to get my dad's house on the market.
You do that in
We're
2
moving
days?
him this weekend, so it
Dad's
should be
house listed.
attainable.
Okay, that's a good one. Alan?
I will have finished my online real estate school.
Both practice and pre, or just pre?
The pre. So yeah, and then I'll be ready to go ahead and sign up for the test.
That's a good goal
There
too.
you go.
Beverly?
Yes, well, mine's a little different. My goal is to meet with Wendy McDermott again, because I'm going to purchase some rental property, and I've been looking and going through some, so I'd like to get one bought within the next 6 months, but at least have all the financing.
Okay. I'm a ferocious accountability partner. I will hold you accountable for those things. So each day, think, I'm looming next Tuesday to ask you about those things. Okay, we got a lot to do, right? So now we got to figure out how we're going to do it, which is where time management comes in, or you management. There's not a lot that I'm good at, but I'm really good at this. I don't know why, I just am. Some of it comes naturally to me, and some of it I've taught it for years. So I'm going to show you kind of how to time block, how to do a prioritized to-do list, so that you can make your day work for you and start working for your day. Okay? So first thing we're going to do, I need somebody to help me write. Misty, can you help me?
Yes.
Okay. There's a Sharpie right up there. And we're going to start with our yearly calendar. Now, I would encourage you guys to do this, even though you're not at the beginning of the year, you've started a new career. So you need to have a yearly calendar for the rest of the year, kind of stating what you're going to do. This is where you're going to put in all your vacations, prior commitments, things that you know you have to do this year. So, Misty, I'm going to give you some of mine to fill in there. Okay? From August 4th to August 7th, I'm going on a bike trip in Colorado, which they tell me is, and go ahead and scratch out those days in between, because I won't be able to sell real estate during those days, which they tell me is 40 miles downhill. I'll tell you when I return. That's how they got me on it. On the 17th of September, a friend of mine is getting married. Okay, and on my anniversary is October 10th, so we always take that as a vacation week, so the 8th through the 15th will be my vacation week. And my little girl that lives in Raleigh, that's not so little anymore, is coming home for Christmas, so I'm going to take the weekend in between Christmas and New Year's off.
Okay, wait,
I'm sorry, the week.
the week of Christmas?
Yeah, 24th through the 31st.
What's the slow time of the year for?
Right then, that's the week.
Nobody's buying or selling around Christmas.
Buying or selling. But you know what? December's always been a good month for me. They say December's not a great real estate month, but and if you're working with somebody, they're serious. They're not looky-loos in December. They're actually looking to buy property in December. So December's always been good. So that's the first thing I do, is kind of write in what my commitments are that I know that's going to take me away from my job for the next year. Got it? Okay, then the next thing we're going to do, first of all, when should you do this?
At the beginning of the year.
At the beginning of the year. Yep, or like December of the previous year. Sit down, look at your year, and put your stuff in there. And don't be afraid to put the stuff in there that gives you great joy. I've got a big goal this year for money, but it doesn't mean I'm not going to take those vacations, because that's what keeps me going. It keeps me energized. It doesn't mean I'm going to miss my daughter coming into town. Okay, you got to balance it. This is real life basis, what you do for a living. Okay, so now it's time to transfer to our monthly calendar. which is that October calendar. So the first thing we'll do is transfer anything up to that calendar that was on our yearly.
The 8th through the 15th.
I'm going on vacation, so go ahead and scratch that out or write vacation across that week or something, so I know not to book anything.
Spell vacation for me.
VACATION. There you go. That'll work. Okay. And do we have anything else on October down there?
Nope.
Okay. So that is so monthly commitments are things that require your physical presence, okay? I physically am going to be on vacation during that week. Matter of fact, I'm going to Belize to look at property, so wish me luck.
Do you keep these on an electronic calendar, or do you?
We'll go over that in just a minute. I do both. I do both. When you're first starting out, I would do it on paper because there's something about getting a whole view of it rather than part of the view. I now do it electronically, but I didn't at first. So I would encourage you to maybe do both for just
share the electronic one. What calendar you use?
I use Outlook.
Outlook.
Yep, use Outlook. I lied. I use Google Calendars now.
Yeah.
Switch
Google
to
Calendars.
Google Calendar. Yeah. Okay, so monthly, you transfer anything from yearly, make commitments that require your physical presence. For instance, meetings, days off, doctor's appointments, holidays, trainings, that kind of stuff that requires your physical presence. So I'm going to give you a couple more, Miss Dee.
Okay.
I teach a core class from 1 to 3 on Tuesdays.
Yes, all Tuesdays?
I do. Is that one of my vacations? Okay. And then on Wednesday the 5th, I'm a blue-eyed blonde, so I have skin cancer, so I get checked all the time. So that's my dermatologist appointment at 10 o'clock. I was a blue-eyed blonde. Shut up, everybody. And then on the 20th, I have a hair appointment at 2 o'clock. I'm not missing that.
So you keep those appointments like a year ahead of time?
No, we do the monthly calendar the month before it starts.
Okay.
So, no, this is for, this is just for demonstration purposes. Pretend this is August.
I'm just
okay? Pretend it's August.
Right.
I would be doing that for August. So the month before, you're going to transfer anything onto there and any appointments that you have to be at. Okay? Now, this is done the last week of the previous month. So now we're ready for our weekly calendar. Here we are on our weekly calendar. We want to transfer anything from our monthly, and the week I want you to use, Miss Dee, is Sunday the 16th through Saturday the 22nd. Okay, so now let's transfer anything over that requires our physical presence.
So 18th, 1 to 3.
There you go.
And the 20th, we have our appointment at 2.
Yes, we do. Okay, this is where you would list things like, those are the things that I physically have to be at, but here are the things that I also have to get done. You ready? I want you to make a list right down here, then we're going to figure out how to schedule them.
Okay.
I got to do lead generated activities, just put lead gen, and admin, A-D-M-I-N. I have to do appointments. I show buyers or sellers. I like to eat lunch. I like to work out, at least I schedule workouts. Because it makes me feel better if it's on my schedule.
But you're beautiful.
Yeah. And I like to have a day off every once in a while.
You're asking for a lot.
Okay, so these are the things that are important in my life. There's going to be different stuff. For instance, had a guy in my class one time that was training, one of his goals was to do a bike marathon of some sort. I don't know what that's called. Bike-a-thon? I don't know. Long bike ride, okay? Not downhill. So part of his thing, what was important to put into his day every day, was he had the training.
Yeah.
So I would need to put that on there, but he would definitely need to put that on his. And he was embarrassed. He says, I can't put that on my schedule. I said, yeah, you can. That's what it's for.
Right.
Because there's enough time, believe me, to do everything you need to do, but you have to schedule it ahead of time. And if you let that stuff go, you won't be able to do it. Okay, so let's do my schedule here. let's see what I have to do. Let's do workouts first.
Okay.
I like to do that from 7 to 8 in the morning on Monday through Friday. So what you guys would do is make your own list of what are the important things you need to get done in a week. Okay. Actually,
Is that acceptable?
yeah, you took me down to 8:30, but that's
Oh,
okay. It's okay.
sorry.
It's not fair. That's fine.
Okay.
Seriously.
Travel time.
Actually, it's in my basement. So
Oh, gosh.
That's recoup
I know, I don't even have excuses. That's changing my clothes, I guess. Okay, and I like to eat lunch, and it's really, there's a saying, don't ever eat by yourself. Take a client with you to lunch, you know? It's a huge thing, or take a coworker with you and pick their brain about what's going on. So let's schedule me a lunch from 12 to 1 every day,
Okay.
Monday through Friday.
Right.
And let me tell you why you do this. Even if you get busy, do this. Because if you're running behind, what can you do during that lunch hour? You get caught back up. It gives you some wiggle room there. See, can you see him behind your way?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, what else is on my list of stuff to do?
Admin, lead generate.
I like to do my admin first thing in the morning. Any paperwork I have to do, I like to get done really quickly. So let's say,
Admin.
let's just go, you got me working out till 8. Let's go 9 to 10 for admin.
Okay. Can everyone read my sloppy handwriting okay? Okay.
Fine. Okay, Misty, what's left for me to schedule?
Lead generating.
Lead
And
generating.
apps and appointments and showing.
Appointments and showings. Okay, this is easy. My lead generating I'll do in the morning between 10 to 12.
Okay.
That gives me 2 hours to do stuff like go through my database and figure out who I can add to it using my vendor list and stuff. What Misty would do during these 2 hours is go out and meet people. Go out and introduce herself to people. We're going to do that all the way to 12. Misty.
Oh, all the way to 12.
I do 2. I try to do 2 hours a day. Okay, and then my last thing is appointments and showings. So when do you think I'm going to put these in?
Anytime, well, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you're open
in the
after
afternoon.
lunch.
Let's put them in there. Let's go 1 to 4.
1 to 4? Okay.
So just put appointments. There you go. Okay, go ahead.
Question. Okay. I've been in sales. I know that people can run you ragged and put you on their schedule. Have you ever figured out a way to kind of hurt people to where you want them?
I do. Actually, you're one step ahead of me. It's where I was headed.
Because I did sales and roofing. All the other guys were out every evening knocking on the doors. All I did was knock doors during the day. I was off at 4 o'clock every day. I didn't put up with anybody wanting me to come by in the evening. I would always do it during the, I just insisted on it and it worked.
Well, here's the deal. Here's what I do. If somebody calls me, if I time block and I know what I'm going to do in those times, it protects those times to get done what I want to get done. Because if I spend all my time showing houses, I won't get any of the other stuff done. And when those people don't buy a house, I won't have anything, right? So you have to protect that time. So if somebody calls me and says, hey, I want to go see a house Tuesday afternoon at 2 o'clock, what would I say?
You can't go, you're trained.
All I say is, you know what, I'm not available during that time. I already have a prior commitment, but I can do it Monday, Wednesday, or Friday. Which day is better for you? At 2 o'clock. Okay? So you don't say, when do you want to go? Because they'll pick during that time it's supposed to be lead generating. You try to steer them. Now, if they are an out-of-town buyer and it's their only day in town, am I going to get somebody to do car for me? Probably. Probably. But let's say they wanted to see, if somebody calls me and they want to see a house and the only time they can do it is 10 o'clock on Friday. What am I going to tell them?
Yes.
First thing I'm going to say is there any way we could do it in the afternoon? Does that fit your schedule? Nope. I'm going to be gone. I'm going to drive them back home. Got to do it Friday morning. What am I gonna do?
You might switch your lead gen around to the afternoon and go ahead and
So
do
switch it for me.
appointments.
So if that happens, I'm gonna do appointments at 10. But the key is, what do we do with lead gen that day?
That moves down here.
Yeah.
It doesn't just fall off the calendar because you had something else come on, okay?
Darn it.
It has to go somewhere. You with me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and also put a little wiggle room in there. We didn't do a very good job of it. I should have told Misty to start appointments at 1:30 instead of 1.
Okay.
So that we have a little half an hour gap. She gave me one up there underneath after my workout. Okay, so when is this weekly schedule done?
Saturday, or Sunday.
Sunday before you start.
Right.
I try to take Sundays off, so I'll go ahead and mark that off. That's my day off. And the only thing I'll do on Saturdays is if I need to show houses, I'll show on Saturday, but I've gotten to a point now where I can usually do it through the week and not have to do it, or an open house. So let's put an open house in from 1 to 3. Okay, that is time blocking. That has everything that I want to get done my week is scheduled. I should be able to get everything done. Now what happens if it's Wednesday afternoon and I don't have any appointments scheduled?
You get bonus time off. Or you can do some more lead generating, or...
That's exactly right. You've got time to catch up with something you might be behind. Or honestly, you own your own business, take the afternoon off. Take the afternoon off, yeah, absolutely. That's why you do this, is so that you get a little breathe room in there. Okay, lastly, we're going to do our daily calendar. Now the daily calendar is done the night before, the next day. I like to do this before I leave the office or before I do anything else. So, Misty, we're going to use, hang on, I'll give you the date.
Okay.
We're going to use October 19th.
Okay.
There you go, we're already there. So the first thing we do is transfer anything over from our weekly calendar.
All right, the 19th. Wait.
It would be Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Uh-huh.
All right, so 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. we have workout.
There you go.
And then 9 a.m. we have admin.
Okay.
And starting at
11.
11.
I'm sorry, 10. 10, we got Legion.
Okay. Lead gen.
12 o'clock is lunch.
And then appointments start at 1:30.
Okay.
Or
Let's start them at 2.
2.
Okay. So those are the things that we physically have to be at. Any questions about any of this so far? I got you still? Physically have to be there. But we also have things we have to do during those times. Okay? So over here on the side, I want you to list our to-dos for the day.
Okay.
1, I've got to do listing work. And if you would, put them in a straight line if you're going to do something with them.
Okay,
All
sorry.
right. It's okay. Pretend they're lines there. Listing work. I've got some closings coming up next week, so I've got some closing work to do. I like to do mailings once a month, so it'll be time to get my mailings out on that day. It's been a long time since I've been out with the girls. I need to schedule a happy hour. I've got some people that want to look at houses on Friday afternoon, so I need to schedule the showings. I've got a listing appointment tomorrow, so I have to do a CMA, or a current market analysis, for that listing. I need to work on my website. I need to add some testimonials to my website. And I need to go grocery shopping. Those are the things I personally have to do on Wednesday the 19th of October. You guys will have a whole different list. Okay, so there's my list of stuff to do. So what do I do first? Here we go. This is the part you're going to think I've lost my mind, but bear with me. I then take this list and I prioritize it, A, B's, and C's. And A's are things that are time sensitive and have to be done today. B's are things that should be done today. And C's are things that can be done today. With me? A's have to be done, B's should be done, C's can be done. So of those, what has to be done, what would be listing work? So an A is B or C?
closings, you have to do the closings.
Closing's definitely an
Listing work would be a B.
A. It's probably an, yeah, it's a B. You're right, it's already listed, so. Listing would be a B. Closing would be an A. Mailings, A, B, or C?
C.
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 Mhm. Happy hour?
Hey.
Depends on the day, but it's usually a C.
Oh.
Okay, schedule showings?
A.
A. Get ready for my CMA for my listing appointment?
A.
Work on my website?
B.
C.
C.
C. It's priority. It's not, does it have to be done? Should it be done? Can it be done? And grocery shopping?
C.
A.
That depends still.
Depends on how full the
Just
fridge
go out
is.
and eat. It's a C.
Let's call it a B.
Do you have backup?
Yeah, not a lot. Okay, if you didn't think I was crazy, here's one more. You ready? Now, how many A's do we have?
3.
Three.
3 A's.
Yep.
3 A's. So now, which one's the more important A?
Your CMA and your closing work.
Which one?
Closing.
Okay, that's an A1. And what's the next important thing?
CMA.
CMA.
A2. And
And schedule showings would be 3.
A3. How many B's do we have?
We have 2 B's.
Okay, so which one's most important?
Listing worker, grocery shopping.
Listing work. It's a B1, and grocery shopping be a B2.
The fat kid in me
And then what's our C's?
We have 4 C's. We have mailings, happy hour, website. No, wait, we just have 3. Mailings, happy hour, website.
So mailing will be the first.
C1, I agree with you, Z.
Website will be the second. Unless you like to get drunk.
I kind of do.
Social time's important.
And she's networking, so
That's right.
There you go.
there's a byproduct of that.
Bump that back up to a 1.
Yeah, like I said, depending on the day.
2 birds, 1
Happy
stone.
hour is networking.
Okay, so now I've worked out like a dog. I've showered, I've come into the office. It's 9, if you're coming into the office or if you're going to your desk at home. It's 9 o'clock, I'm sitting down at my desk. What's the first thing I'm gonna do?
Closing work.
As soon as I get done with that, what am I gonna do? Check it off. I like to draw a line through it.
Okay.
Satisfying. Okay, now, what's next?
CMA.
Do you see? Okay? And then third,
Wait, yeah, schedule showings.
schedule showings. Okay, we're done. And then probably, it's funny how this works out, it's probably 10 o'clock by now. So now I'm in my lead generating stuff. So what's next? What do I do at 10?
Listing work.
Listing work. Check it off when you're done. You with me?
Yeah.
Okay. So not only do you have a schedule for what you're going to do when and keeping that open for people to show houses to, but you have a prioritized to-do list that when you sit down, do 1, do 2, do 2, do 3. And you will get everything done in the day you need to get done. And if you don't get it done, let's say, okay, I got my, what's next?
Grocery store shopping.
And we're going to get that done, okay? Go ahead. And I'm going to get my mailings out.
Yep, then we got happy hour website.
Those are the 2 things that the day is over and I did not get them done. Is the world going to come to an end?
No.
They'll transfer over to tomorrow, right? Okay? But if I
Happy
had...
hour can still happen.
Yeah, it could. So, but if I hadn't scheduled my showings or done my CMA, would that mess me up?
Yes.
Yeah. So a lot of people like to make this list and knock the easy stuff out first. Don't do it. Do the things that have to get done that day first. Thank you, Ms. Dean. I'm good. Do the things that have to be done first and then go from there. Time management. Any questions on any of this? Does anybody do anything like this currently? Not
Sort
really.
of, because I'm a mom, and you know, you got to plan the day sometimes.
Absolutely right.
What I normally did was I carry one of the little pocket counters in my back pocket.
Yep.
And then I focus at first, and this is the way I might have to do it with the real estate, focus all my attention on prospecting.
Yep.
And then as the stuff starts getting in the pipeline, magically, my schedule totally fills up.
Yep.
I mean, and I didn't really break it down that way, but I just write it down as soon as I get it, and then I have to look at the schedule when I schedule other things, so it just kind of automatically fills up.
I tell you what happens with most realtors is this works at first because, you know, you got nothing else to do. You know, you're just doing all this stuff right now, so you're fine. Then you start getting busy and you start having buyers call you and they want to see a house, their closings are about to go south and you get wonky. okay? Here's what happens to most realtors. They'll give up their lead gen time. They won't give up admin because they know they can't get paid if they don't get the paperwork done right, okay? But they'll give up their lead gen time to put out fires, okay? When that happens, have you ever heard of realtors that feast and famine? You're making a lot of money, you're making no money, you're making a lot. That's why that happens. If you will figure out to put in at least an hour of your day, every single day in lead generation, it doesn't take a lot, just an hour of focused attention, you'll have a really consistent business that you'll be able to count on. And you might as well start that habit now, as opposed to later.
Do you find it easy to keep it kind of consistent, like in the morning you always do admin?
I do, when I can. Now, if it gets messed up, like what we just did, I'll shift it. And if I have a day that all hell breaks loose, which will happen, don't kick yourself in the butt, get back on it the next day. You know what I mean? Because then if I know, okay, I gotta be in the office doing 9 o'clock admin, then you get back on that horse the next day and you'll be fine. Any questions for me at all on time management? No? Okay, I'm gonna show you a little thing. I brought a magic trick. Bev, why don't you come up here so you can see what we're doing. Here are my tasks that I have to do as a realtor. Really, you only have a few things that you have to do. If anybody's seen this before, don't ruin it, okay? We have lead generating task, okay? I picked fruit because it feeds your business. Get it? Feed your business. Okay? Then you have admin work. This is your paperwork, getting everything in line, writing contracts, so on and so forth. And then over here, we have customer service. These are the things that your customer is calling you and saying, oh, can I do this, or can I do that, or I need some referral to a lender, stuff that's customer service stuff. Okay? Those are the 3 things that you do every single day. Now, here is your day. This is the day you have to do it in. Right? So, what do most people do? What do most people react to first?
The easy one, so.
Or the one that's in their face.
The customer service, the one that's yelling at you. Okay, Gene. So dump my customer service into my day.
Okay.
That's good. That's the thing up.
Now wait, I thought you guys had a full-time customer service person here on staff to do
You're
that.
it. So as you can see, that fills up about half of my day. So now Pete hates admin work, so he's going, I'm not going to do admin work yet. I'm going to focus on lead generating, right? So Pete.
Maybe put them in a blender.
If the lid fits, you get to go home.
Really?
Not going to work, right?
No.
So there's a key to this. Anybody know what it is? We got to fit all this. Not only can we fit these, we got to fit all 3 in our day. You got to start with your big things first, and your biggest thing to your business is your lead generating. Okay? So Alan, let's start my day with my lead generating.
All right. That's where I'm going to start my day.
Apples,
Hey, that was not.
Okay? Bev, then we're going to do customer service.
I'm going to do it differently.
Yeah, you can do it however you want. You can tell she's a teacher.
Those are pretty.
So we're already doing better, right?
Yeah, I don't think you're going to make it, are you? Get rubbed up.
There you go. Take it out.
Don't wiggle it too much. Your apple will come up.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got our lead generating, we got our customer service. We still have admin work to do. Stacy, can we fit admin in our day?
Shake that down some more.
Very carefully.
Yes, good job. So you fit everything in your day. You're ready to go home, right? Ta-da. And why did it work?
You can go drinking.
Why did it work? Why did
Big
it work?
things first.
Oh, there's the
So, here's why it works. If you do it right, you do your lead generating first, customer service second, admin third, then you have time to go to Belize and sit on the beach. You really will. If you just do it in the right order, you'll come up with the extra time. I could pull that whole thing, but I'm not going to do it because I have to cycle it out later. Okay, so that's your magic trick demonstration, so you remember time management. Any questions from y'all? You guys ready to go back and put your calendar together? That is your homework for tonight, or for this week, is to put your calendar together, work on your action plans. Next week, the rubber hits the road. We start talking about working with buyers. And if you get a phone call from a buyer says, I want to buy the house, now what do I do with them?
That's the thing.
We're gonna work on that next week. You had to get all this in place first so you could figure out how to get some buyers to work with.
Exactly.
That's right. Okay, guys, thank you so much for coming. I appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Have a great week.